Hello to all you yids out there. This is the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans Podcast, a podcast for a bunch of yids to all you yids around the world. We are recording this on Sunday night, literally, 4 hours after De Zerbi's first game and another defeat for Spurs, a 1-0 away defeat to Sunderland, a cruel goal in a game that probably had a ball draw all over it and that in many aspects we would have taken, but we've come away again losing, and we are now firmly in the bottom three. It's myself, Lee Tarrier, Kevin Dennis, Matty Kerr. How you doing, lads? You all right?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
Not too bad, mate. Just drinking again. Get myself through it.
Drinking again, ole ole.
Yeah, you're going to be that new guy.
I think
day number 433, drinking 6 Fosters a day until Tottenham win a game.
I can do that anyway. But I think I'm a couple of more defeats away from having fucking red cheeks permanently, I think. Blotchy skin, the fucking lot.
I mean,
anymore.
Well, this is it. I don't know. I watched it in because I was playing football and I was just dropping a mate back towards East. So I watched first half in the Alfred Herring, which used to be a Wetherspoons in Palmer's Green, but it's now just a normal pub. Actually, decent pub, good price, loads of big screens. Just watched the first half there and drove home for the second half. The game as a whole, Kev, I'll start with you. The game as a whole, I mean, there weren't much to it, was it? There weren't much quality from both sides. And the goal was a shit goal, wasn't it? But it wasn't the greatest signs for us. There were some moments, but all in all, how did you sum up De Zerbi's first game in charge?
Yeah, I think we knew that it was going to be hard to implement a lot of his ways in a week's worth of training. So it was no surprise really that we didn't really see much difference in terms of a style. I know obviously we eliminated the long ball side of it, which I was happy to see. But yeah, it's the same old thing at the moment. I think there's still a lack of belief within the players. Players are not playing as well as they should, especially certain players. I think I have to question some of them today in terms of effort. I don't know when the penny's really going to drop. I mean, I'd like to think it's dropped now that, slipping into the bottom three and everyone making such a big thing about it in terms of media and everything else. To us, it's no surprise. But, I think only Spurs fans know how serious it is. I think everyone else who ain't a Spurs fan doesn't really understand of how bad we actually really are at the moment and how much we're in the shit. I think people still think we're going to get out of it. But I don't know how many more losses we can take for everyone to start realising, players, fans, neutral fans, everyone else, of how much trouble we're actually in. And like I said, the players that we've got out there, for the quality they have, it just doesn't really line up in terms of what we have and the way we're playing and maybe the chances we're not creating and giving away silly balls, certain players being out of position in key areas of the pitch today, I thought, especially in the midfield. So, I mean, he's got his work cut out for him. He knew what he was going to come in and face. I think looking at his face on the bench today, I think he really realised what he's got. And I think what he's tried to fire over to him in the first week isn't so much style and tactics. It's about importance of how bad it is, how much confidence the players have lost over the season. He mentioned a lot about us supporters and, saying that players can change clubs and supporters have only got one club and it's all we have. So he's tried to fire that across to get them up. But today, I just think it was a lack of quality in certain areas. Certain players weren't good enough today. But yeah, I mean, I thought we could nick a win last week when we did it. I think as the week went on and it got nearer to the game and as the game started, I probably thought a point would have been a decent result to get ready for Brighton, which is a massive home game. Losing again probably hasn't done much for confidence. So, it's this win that we're all craving for, hoping that it's going to be the foundation to bounce again. But like always, we've said all year, I don't really see where the win is coming from, especially when you look at the teams around us of how they're playing and fighting. So yeah, it's really worrying times, and I think we'll just need that win to see what the reaction would be after that win when we get it. But at the moment, and judging on that today, I still can't see where it's going to come from.
No, I mean there was a strong start, Matt. The passing looked strong at the beginning. He wants to play out from the back. Kinski looked good with the ball, as we knew he would. I think that Atletico game was just a bit of a freak accident and probably was a bit of a stain against him, which wasn't really just to what he done. But then, yeah, in many ways, and De Zerbi said it himself in the post-match interview, we didn't deserve to lose it. It kind of did have ball draw over it, didn't it? I mean, from my point of view, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I don't think we deserve to win it. I don't think we deserve to lose it. I think 1-0, if we would have scored, I think we would have won that game 1-0, if I'm honest. There was nothing in it. I just think we were so wasteful in that final third. I thought Richarlison was so wasteful in so many good opportunities there. Solanke, I don't think he touched the ball game, but he played 90 minutes. Fucking unbelievable. How he's stealing a wage at the minute is a joke. Like, we was praying for him to come back from injury because of his press and stuff like that. And I find him just jogging around the pitch now. It's like he's not fit. Mawani, send him back now. Send him back. Cancel and just get rid of him. He's terrible. Like, he's probably the worst player Spurs have ever had on loan. And we've had Andy Booth and all that down there. And Andy Booth was better than him. Yeah. I thought Conor Gallagher was fucking shocking for their goal. He stepped in and it's just a half jog. It's just a half jog. Like, where is that fight? Do you know what I mean? You don't want someone to shoot at your goal. I thought Porro, Ramiro, Van der Ven, they were all right. I thought Kinski played well. Look, I think all across the back line we've done well. I think the midfield to a certain point we played okay, but I think the forward line let us down massively today. Absolutely massively. There was nothing there. Nothing. We didn't look like scoring.
So is that staying with you, Matt, just quickly from that then, is that the problem then? Because we've got 6 more games and we've got to start scoring. Like, are we gonna get through
I don't know what the problem is, but Xavi Simons is a direct player. He wants to go forward. He looks at a forward opportunity every single time. He gets on the ball, tries to make things happen. He reminds me of a James Maddison, yeah? He wants to go forward at every opportunity. Why is that guy not starting? Why
Do you know what, Matt? I've got an opinion on that.
Why is Mawani starting every single game and he does nothing?
Do you think? I mean, I've tried to scratch my head with the Simons thing, and I'm thinking of attitude and stuff like that. Do you think? I mean, he looks miserable. Doesn't look like he wants to be. I mean, a lot of them look miserable, but he looks miserable on the bench when he comes on. I was thinking today. Do you think he's obviously? I don't see a lot of players that want to stay there, but I think he's probably looked at this move and thought it's the wrong move for him, especially ain't got minutes. And I'm wondering if he's kicked up a bit of a fuss behind the scenes and said, I'm ready to fucking go. I don't want to be here anymore. And that's the reason, because I don't understand why he doesn't play.
Do you know what?
I'd love to ask somebody why he doesn't play. And that's three or four managers now. How many have we had this year? 3? That's 3 now, isn't it? 4. Yeah. None of them have fancied him. And this is a £60 million player you've bought, an international who's, played well at clubs he's been. But what is the reason why he doesn't play for Spurs? It's a head scratcher.
He may have had this bust up, but every time he comes on the pitch, he looks like he's the one that wants to get on the ball and wants to make things happen. So he could have had a bust up all he wants, but every time he gets on that pitch, he wants to play. He wants to play for the shirt. You could see he's one guy that's going to create something out of nothing.
So why do you think he's not playing?
I think under Frank, he probably didn't suit the style. Everything went through Kudus. Tudor went everything long. He's too small to be playing the long ball, so he's fell out of favour there. Don't be surprised if Simons starts on the weekend against Brighton. We need to be on the front foot. We need to be on the front foot against Brighton, and he's the guy you want on the pitch.
Why do you think Solanke's so bad from what you're saying, Matt?
I have no idea, mate. But he doesn't look like half of the player that we had last season, does he?
Not really, no.
It's the press.
I didn't think he was too bad in the first half. I mean, he had that chance where he should have put away. But yeah, I agree. The second half, I thought he was absolutely fucking dreadful in terms of, what Matt's saying there about the press. I mean, that was one of the reasons we bought him underhand, because we knew he could press and force mistakes at the back. But a million miles off it. I mean, I watched it today, and there were times, a lot of times, especially in the second half, where he would stand off and one of the central midfielders would go and press the centre halves and he would drop back. And I was thinking, well, why is that? You know, but yeah, I'm with you, Matt. He doesn't look quick anymore. He looks like someone who's carrying an injury. And and the thing is, he's the best thing we've got up there. So if he ain't firing, then what do you do?
I mean, Richarlison gives us everything he has, but it isn't enough, is it really, Kev? I know we've had this debate. Matt's always backed him. He obviously didn't today, but that early 5-minute period, he had a couple of he either had the ball to use well or he had a shot, and they were both pretty weak.
The definition is weak. Yeah, that's spot on. That's what me and my brother-in-law were saying when we watched it. Everything he does is weak. Holding up the ball, he's weak at doing that. In terms of getting him in the box and having a good strike on goals. He's a centre forward as well. He ain't a wide player, but he's a wide player today that got himself in a position where he's got the goalkeeper to beat. And I've seen my 6-year-old girl hit balls harder than that in games, and I don't understand it. He isn't the answer, never has been the answer, but we have what we have at the moment. And yes, we keep repeating it. He will have a run around for you, but I thought he found it even hard to do the defensive side of it today. I thought De Zerbi had him tracking back a lot. And he just isn't that player to track back and win your slide tackles and be strong in a defensive position, tracking back. I don't know what he is. And I think we've just got too many of them players at the moment who just can't fulfill their potential at this football club. And, I do want to chat at Conor Gallagher as well for being extremely poor today as well. And this is a guy we bought in for big money, 200 grand a week. And I haven't seen one bit of him where I thought, this is the player we got. I mean, De Zerbi mentioned it in the week that he wants to see the Conor Gallagher of Chelsea. Fucking hell, like he's nowhere near it. And he's another player I'm looking at and I'm thinking, does he want to be there? I mean, it's the body language today as well for some of them. Romero, Van der Ven, Conor Gallagher. I just don't know if they're up for it and they want to have a fight. And if that's the case, then these players are going to send us down. It's as simple as that.
It's what's scary, isn't it?
Sorry, Lee, you see with Richie, yeah? Every time he plays through the middle, it gives us something. He scores. He does score when he plays through the middle. I don't understand why we're playing him left wing. Like, he's not a left winger, but I get it. People have played him through the left wing. I think Everton played him there. Ange played him in there in the Europa League final, didn't he? He played him left wing.
Yes.
So I can understand, but if Solanke is not doing nothing, then play Richie through the middle. I don't understand what Solanke done today to be able to say that I could play 90 minutes today. Because I think he touched the ball about 3 times.
Well, this is it. I do think, as I said, Richarlison's going to give you everything he's got. Whether that's good enough, I'm not sure, but he's dogged. And it might have to be that we have to change that a little bit. And if we're talking about where Simmons is going to play, if you think he's going to play higher up the pitch, I don't know. I mean, what about the other players, like in terms of grade? What did you think of him today?
It was just a normal 6 out of 10. Like, I thought, like he was okay. Didn't do much wrong, did he? Didn't do much right. It was just a balanced performance from Gray. Like Papa Sarr, when he come on, I don't think he touched the ball.
Yeah, I thought Bergvall was a bit poor today as well. I know he's a guy.
With Bergvall, I think he just took too many touches of the ball. He didn't.
He does that a lot, though, Matt. Don't you think he does?
Yeah.
Take too many touches and tries too much, then misplaces the ball, loses control of it, and then goes and fouls someone trying to win it back. I mean, it's quite a common theme. It just needs a bit of confidence, fluidity through the team. But I'm just questioning if these are the players that are going to be able to do that in such a short amount of time. Anyway, I think De Zerbi's got one eye on next season. He's probably, some of these players are on auditions at the moment, especially the younger ones and the players that may not move on if we went down. But some of these players at the moment are just not giving themselves any chance of this manager wanting to play them next year, if we survive or not. It's just there's just a big theme in the team at the moment where I just don't think the players are good enough, and I wonder if you stick them in a different side, would they be different? I don't know. But at the moment with us, I don't know if it's because they're so unhappy. They're in a rut. Mentality's fucking all over the shop. I just don't know what it is. It's just no. I mean, these managers we've had this year, it's just been no. Every club has a new manager bounce. Something changes all the time. And going by today, I wasn't expecting us to go and fucking smash some of them, but I think I still expected us to play better. And I think a lot of Spurs fans may have took a draw or a loss if we play really, really well and we showed signs that the next game, if we play like that, we would beat Brighton at home with home advantage. But it's just another game where we come away and I'm thinking, well, I don't even think we'll beat Brighton. I'm not sure if we will now because, it's just about getting that win to bounce on, and we just can't do it. And the longer these draws and losses go on, and the worse it gets in terms of everything, all the noise around us, I think the worse it's going to be. And I just don't think these players, I think the word I'm looking for is some of these players were checked out already. And that's a shame because they're letting everyone else down, and especially supporters.
How big is mentality in this, though? Because obviously they haven't won a game this year in the Premier League. That starts to play on you, right? Even at the levels we play, whether it's 5-a-side, 11-a-side, playing a decent Sunday, Saturday team. If you don't get that sort of run of games and all of a sudden you start losing it, that mentality does sort of store in you. And look, again, these are players, they're professional. You've got to see past that. Strong mentality is half the reason.
I think it depends on what kind of person you are, what kind of leader you are. I've always been a player. Obviously I haven't played at that standard, but I've always been a player that's, no matter how shit my team is or whatever, I have my own personal way of playing, and I'll just always fight, and I'll always be aggressive. And whether I'm losing 5-0 or whatever it is, I'm still the same, and I still want to win games. I play for a team in the Hertfordshire County League at the moment, and we haven't won for 10 games. We drew a lot, lost a few, but we haven't. But nothing ever changes. It's just we needed that win. We got that win this weekend, and it'd be interesting now to see where we go from now. But the mentality hasn't changed. We still fight for each other. We still want to win. We still in the change rooms and we're fighting, and we're G'ing each other up. That's all still there. It's just the results just didn't really happen. But we never stopped. No one ever stopped giving a shit. And
but did it feel like after this Saturday when you won, Kev, that there was a little bit more puff out the shoulder, bit like, oh fucking hell, yeah, we're on this.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, we've got a thing where we play Three Little Birds, Bob Marley, every time we win a game, and we haven't played that for 10 weeks. So to play that in this weekend just gone, changing room was on fire, and we can't wait to get going. The group chat was popping off. We're all down the pub. Everything's happy. Everyone's great, and it's about what you take into the next game. But it meant a lot. But we never stopped trying before that. And my problem is with Spurs. I just think a lot of them stopped trying. And if I'm the captain on my side. So if I've got young players that decide they won't give a shit, I'll have a word with them about it and ask them why, and speak to the coach about it and go, why ain't he doing this? Why ain't he doing that? And that's that standard. So this standard, I don't know if they're on too much money or what, but they've still got a reputation to hold. The world is watching them. You're going to be deemed as failures. You're going to be deemed as a laughingstock because you're a player that took a massive club down. And it ain't just solely on the players, it's everything else around it. But at the end of the day, these players can be playing better than they are. And if they can't, and 3 managers can't get a tune out of them, then I'm questioning the players and I'm questioning the desire. And, I think it really comes down to that. If we win a game, it might change. I don't know. But can we find that win? Fuck no. Who knows? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'm just looking at the stats overall because I did say, look, I didn't think there was much in it. And we've all said here, like, we could have easily had it 1-0 our way. We had a penalty at one point. VAR overruled it. But in terms of the stats, we had 11 against their 13, but 7 of ours were on target against their 2. We had more touches in the opposition box, 26 to their 21. Their goalkeeper made 7 saves to Kinski's 1. Covered more distance. There was positives in it, I would say, Matt. Not great positives. Not like, oh my God, there's a manager bounce and everything's going to be all right. But there was enough to make me go, look, if we play a little bit and if we take that into Brighton, we might get something. Brighton are on form. We got to remember this, like they've turned it around and they're going to be on form. But at home, new manager with everything it means, 5:30, everyone in the pubs for a session before. Is there enough with them stats and what you saw today to be at least encouraged that we can do something against Brighton?
Lee, we beat Brighton Saturday. I'm telling you that now. I've not been confident at all. 5:30 on a Saturday.
Matt, I've heard you say this all fucking year. This year, it hasn't happened.
Yeah, I have not said.
I love your passion, mate. But fucking hell, I can't say we're gonna win.
We fucking beat Brighton Saturday. I'm telling you that now. No matter how form Brighton are, we beat Brighton Saturday. I'm telling you.
I like
and sets us up to go and beat Wolves, then it sets us up to go and beat Villa, it sets us up to go and beat Leeds, then Chelsea, then Everton. Done. 6 out of 6 when we get Europa Conference League. Now, all jokes aside, look, there's 18 points to play for, yeah? If we can't get more points than West Ham, Forest, and Leeds out of them 18 points to play for, then we fully deserve to go down, yeah? But I honestly do think De Zerbi's first home game at White Lane will beat Brighton. We will beat Brighton on Saturday. I honestly mark my words.
Yeah, because I mean, I looked at it today as well, and like you said, there was an encouraging sense from the back line. It looks like Romero's going to be out. Guy was crying. He's probably crying because of the World Cup, not about us or anything to do with us.
True.
Yeah, but I didn't really look at them. You know, Sunderland, they're an all right team. They've done well this season. They've kind of overachieved in many ways. Spent a lot of money, but they've made themselves safe, and they're in and around spaces that could outside chance get the Europa Conference. But I didn't feel threatened in any way. It and in that sense, defensively, can we take confidence in that, Kev, or is that just they weren't that good?
What, in terms of Sunderland?
Yeah, you just felt that we did the right things in the right spaces. We didn't give much away as a back line.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a common theme. I think we play against teams that I think we know that we are better than on our day. But it's the guts, it's the fight. These teams seem to be edging victories over us and just having that little bit more in terms of nicking a chance here and there, or putting a tackle in or a block in. There's just a bit more to them, and these teams ain't better than us really. But the shit we're in and the confidence we're in, I think a lot of these teams do look better than us. I mean, I look at every team in the Premier League at the moment, and they all look better than us in terms of how they're going to get out there and play in terms when the back's against it. With us, I just think the word brittle is probably the right word. We're in our shell massively, and I mean, all it takes is to get out of this shell. And I think, like Matt's saying, you've got so many points to play for, but it's just about, can we get out of this shell against teams who really you should be beating? I mean, the stats this year really don't fucking lie, and we are sort of where we are because we deserve to be. But the more I'm watching other sides around us, I mean, the more I'm getting worried in terms of just having that bit of fight,
What's scary, and I'm sure you lot are aware, and everyone who's watching or listening on is probably aware, but this next week we play Brighton, and I love Matt's confidence because we need that win. Nottingham Forest are at home to Burnley, and Leeds are at home to Wolves. Now, if they win those games,
it's a must win, Lee. It's a must win.
Yeah, man. It's like, fuck. I didn't even know that. I was just looking at their fixtures. I was like, fucking hell, what a week to have that. I mean, Wolves have been doing all right, and then they got hammered by the Hammers. Like, no more pun intended, but I thought, fucking hell. And now looking at that, I'm like, we cannot afford to lose this.
Well, that's the position we're in now, Lee, where it's the crunch time now, and teams are going to be playing other teams around us and all that, and teams are going to drop points around us, and it's like, when can you capitalize? And we've never been good, whether we're at the bottom or in the mid-table or the top or in any cups or group stages. We've never really capitalized when the results go for us, and this year especially, we haven't capitalized on anything. So can that spur them on when if Wolves beat West Ham, would that spur us on to play better at Sunderland? I'm not sure. I just think we are what we are at the moment. But like I said, I think it's vital to get that next win and see what happens after that. And I think if you beat Brighton and you go and lose against Wolves, then it's all for nothing again. I think there needs to be a bounce off a win. And if that doesn't happen, then unfortunately, I think the worst could happen.
It's scary now, though, isn't it? I think
it is, mate. But the thing is, Lee, me and Matt calling this from fucking January time. We were saying, I mean, we spoke about it in the group chat when we put that clip up of Matt, when you asked Matt the question. I think it was in It was like maybe after the Newcastle game, in it February time.
Yeah, it was early. It was early enough.
And I remember you asking Matt. I mean, Matt was in agreement, and you asked him. It sticks with me all the time. Matt, can Tottenham Hotspur get relegated? And he said, yes, of course we can. And that was in January. And a lot of people have seen the signs early doors, but the club they've just slept on it, mate. What's her name? Is it Abby Summers? The blonde girls on TalkSport. She come out of it today and had a big rant. And she says the whole club and the players have slept walked all the way through it when it was shit, being arrogant and naive and thinking that we was too good enough to be dragged into it. And now this is what's happened. And there's so many people to blame for it on the pitch and off the pitch. But we are where we are because we deserve to be. And we've now become, I think Matt said it in the group chat last night, we're a club that isn't really built to fight like this in terms of this. And you've got teams down there at the moment that fight like this every fucking year. So they kind of know what it's all about. And with us, some of these players have never been in a relegation battle in their life. So it's like, how do you go from telling them, you're going for a top four and winning Europa League one summer until now, and then 10 months later, you're now on the verge of being in the Championship, playing fucking Lincoln or whoever the fuck it is. It's like, when are you going to realise? And I just don't think they understand the severity of it. And we do as supporters, but I just, they're not like us. They're paid football players who don't really have an attachment to the club like we do. So our eyes are on Spurs all the time. We love the club. We know when things are going wrong. We voice our opinions. We're lucky to have this podcast to do it. And we've been saying it from day one. And we ain't the only people that have been saying it. Everyone's been saying it. That we've been in trouble for a long time. And, I always go back to January. January was a massive time for this club to be able to invest or loan or get bodies in that was going to keep us from falling down here. And we've kept with the same bunch who have just, like I said, have slept walk through it. And just been so naive and thinking they wouldn't get dragged down there. Arrogance from a lot of them is one of them. Players who think they're too good for the club, don't want to be there anymore, so won't give 100%. So many things. And it's just like, when are you going to give a shit? When it's too late? When we're relegated and we're going to the Championship and some players are going to bigger and better clubs? It's like, what about us? What about what we've give you? We give you that stage to go on to that. Our club has bought you. When are you going to give us something back? And unfortunately, they ain't. I look at players like Romero and Van der Ven, just not giving us anything back. And it's like, they're your captains. They're supposed to be your senior players. And when they give up, everyone's going to give up. And it's like, it just can't get any worse than it is. Surely not. Apart from going down, it's been such a bad year of football. It's so bad that I'm looking forward to England. I can't wait for England. And I'm not even a big England fan. It's like, I just want to watch some football where it's going to make me happy. And having this break we've had the last couple of weeks has been lovely, and today it's sort of gone back. But we lose against Brighton. We lose against Brighton, mate. The vultures will be out even more, and it is what it is.
Well, it's the thing, and I know on our last pod that we did last week, TJ said I think it was 9 points we need. Do we need more than that, Matt? Those 9 points would come from the 3 home games. Let's just say Brighton, Leeds, and Everton. But we're just talking about these other fixtures for West Ham and Leeds and that. Is 9 points going to be enough now?
I think it was okay until West Ham won this weekend.
Because we're 2 points below 17th.
Yeah, so that means if we'd done that, we'd be 7 points. But then we're hoping that they wouldn't pick up any more points.
Yeah.
Mate, I think the next 2 games is a must win. We have to beat Brighton and we have to beat Wolves. There is nothing about it. We have to go and win them 2 games. If we don't, I really see us going down. But I think if you leave with 4 points in them 2 games, you sit there and think, right, we're in with a chance. But if we lose one, and then if we lose to Brighton and then maybe draw with Wolves, we're done. We're done. Because the only hope is that Villa will be playing Europa League semi-final, kind of round about when our fixtures. Yeah, so that could help us. But they're chasing that top 5 spot. Like you see today, they slipped up at Forest. I don't know, man. All I know, we need 6 points from the next 2 games. 4, the lowest we can get, but 6 points, we have to get 6.
Yeah, I'm looking now, West Ham's fixtures across the rest of the season is Palace, they're the only one playing away from all of us in the bottom next weekend. They're away at Palace next Monday, the 20th. They got Everton at home. They got Brentford away. They got Arsenal at home. They got Newcastle away, and they play Leeds on the final day.
I don't see West Ham picking up many points there. They've got some tricky fixtures. Everton are chasing Europe. Brentford are chasing Europe. Crystal Palace, that's a tough place to go, Selhurst Park. You say Arsenal. That now, if Arsenal would have won yesterday, I think Arsenal could have probably won the league before West Ham, and then West Ham would probably beat Arsenal. Yeah, because Arsenal had the semi-finals of the Champions League. Now Arsenal have got to probably go into that fixture needing a win. So that's helped us now massively. Arsenal slipping up yesterday.
If we win, if we win our games, that's the big question.
Yeah.
It's looking at everyone's fixtures, but looking at us and thinking, well, where's our win coming from for us to capitalise on them shit fixtures West Ham have got, you know?
And now tomorrow night, Man United Leeds is huge for us because looking at Leeds games, they're the team that I feel will probably be the one that gets dropped into it a little bit.
Thing is, though, you'll watch Leeds tomorrow, and you'd watch them, and you'd go, wonder if my team would play like that at Old Trafford. Wonder if my team would fight like that. I mean, you'll probably see that tomorrow. Leeds will probably give that a go. I mean, I fancy United to beat them, but Leeds won't go down, you know, without fighting. And that's the key thing. It's how much fight do we have, and I don't really see it. And I don't know how many more games you can keep losing until you turn around and go, well, no, we really need to fight it. I don't know. I mean, he's got another week of him with training, so I don't know what he can. I don't know what he can do, to be honest, in terms of that mentality I'm talking about. You can get on the training pitch, you can do as much as you want and work, but it's firing them up and making them play better and have the confidence. And that's the biggest job he's got, I think. Ain't so much in terms of style, because that will come in the summer when he gets rid of the players he don't want and he gets the players in that's going to suit his style. But at the moment, he's just got to try and get them playing and knowing how good they are as footballers and going to express that. And at the moment, they're not expressing it to their full potential. And that's no fault of his. That's kind of the cards he's been dealt with. So it's down to the players, mate. It really is to play better in whatever position they're told to play in and whatever style they're asked to do or whatever it is. They need to play better and need to fight a bit more, and they've got to learn it quick.
Has any of you heard any player interviews? I heard one with Romero, I think after the Forest game, which is just a bit of fluff. But have any of you seen any player interviews on social, on any of the Sky channels?
Nope.
I think they've probably been told to just not do it, and the manager will take it all at the minute.
Fucking, that's a lot to ask on him, isn't it? You think, like?
I mean, the thing is, the players are only going to come out there and get asked the same questions. You know, why are you down here? What can you do? And they can only say what we want them to what we want to hear. But it's I think words of their words this year and everybody's words within the club, it fell on deaf ears with the way we're playing. It's nothing's whatever you've said, you haven't promised. You promised it, but you haven't fulfilled it. And it's now becoming later and later and going into now sort of mid-April. And we're now in the bottom three. And we're now on our worst run since the 70s. It was when the team went down last. And I just don't know what wake-up call is going to happen for it to for them to really realise how shit they are. I want to know if they know of how bad the situation is.
The thing, sorry to interrupt, like what I was going to say is, what do you think is the mood daily in that training ground?
I honestly, I mean, I watch a lot of training stuff, and they're just, I mean, they're laughing and joking, which you can't take that away from. They're going to do that. But sometimes I think Spurs' social media doesn't help us supporters, when they're in the shit and they're playing silly quiz games with them and doing things like that. And when they walk into training, they're trying to make light of certain things, probably because the situation's so shit. It just doesn't really wash. I don't want to see all that. I want them, don't want them laughing and joking. If they're going to do that, don't film it and put it on the social media. Put it on the social media of them training hard and working hard to give us a bit of hope as supporters when we go into the stadium. We think, well, he looked good in training. He was good. I mean, the De Zerbi thing this week in training was beautiful to see because I haven't seen a manager get on the training ground and direct players like that fucking forever. Probably since Pochettino. And it's like, it kind of give me a bit of false hope this week, thinking, well, maybe he'll get something out of them because he's been on the pitch of them. But I don't think the world's best manager, I don't think Sir Alex Ferguson or anyone like that, or Klopp or fucking Guardiola, I don't think he would be able to get a tune straight out of these lot, because I just think the levels in the side and players have just down tooled and sort of checked out, and they're the sort of players you don't want around in this situation. But they're our best players. Some of them, we've got to pick them. So it's a really sticky situation, I think, for the coach to be in and everyone around it, you know.
Matt, what do you think when you see the team, when you see stuff on social, when you see them on the pitch, pre-match, during the match, post-match? Do you feel that behind closed doors, behind these videos, like Kev's saying, there is a form of togetherness in times like this? Do you think there's a lot of individualism that they sort of say, well, fucking, I'm doing my bit, or, you know, I'm looking my way? But do you think there is any cohesion on a day-to-day basis up in Enfield?
Try not to look at the clips and stuff like that, mate. Like even the training thing that Kev's talking about, I see it. But you're talking 30-second clip over a whole week. Do you know what I mean? So no one really knows what goes on behind the closed doors. You see De Zerbi today, he was running up and down the touchline and stuff like that. So you could see what type of manager he is, and I like that. But mate, I don't know. I have no idea. But all the clips from the social media, from the top of social media and that, I try not to look into it, because sometimes it's a 10, 20-second clip, but they're there all week. So where's the rest of the footage? You don't know. You only see what they want you to see, where players are walking in, having a laugh and a smile to try and lift the room, you know, try and lift it. But yeah. I don't know. I don't know, mate. But what I think is we've got a lot of sulkers in that team, and when things ain't going your way, they start throwing their toys at the pram and start not putting that extra 10-yard sprint in where they would normally. Yeah. If we was at the top of the league, if we was chasing the league, you'd start seeing players putting that extra 10-yard sprint in right now. And right now, we're not getting that from them players.
But that's what's worrying, isn't it? Because I wouldn't want a relegation on my CV, regardless of thinking I can move along. Like, as an individual, as a player, my pride is like you were saying, Kev, when your team, like, if you haven't won a game, you're still going in. Like, I don't want people to remember, oh, you got relegated at Spurs. Like, that can't happen. Because this shouldn't really be happening.
Is that money, though? Is that money? You know, people like me do that for free. Like, these players are getting paid 200 grand a week, regardless if they fucking win, lose, or draw. And it's like, that's where I have to question it. And I know it's modern day football, and there's thousands of footballers out there and in the world that do it. But you know, this is fucking Tottenham Hotspur. This is what we have as a club and what we are globally. I mean, it's unthinkable, you know, to be where we are. And the thing is, everyone's fucking enjoying it as well. You know what I mean? So would we if it was our rivals down there. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. But everybody wants the unthinkable to happen, and everything's against us as well. And sorry, I didn't mention earlier as well, quickly. I just want to, before I forget, I thought the referee today was fucking horrendous as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was a massive factor in certain decisions. I didn't think he'd give us anything. And I did, sorry to throw this in at this section here, but I did want to say it because I think he contributed to a lot of our downfalls today as well, in terms of not being, you know, equal on both sides in terms of decisions. And I mean, there were certain things that happened on that pitch for Sunderland players that if Romero would have done it, he would have got fucking sent off. And I just think there's a bit of an agenda against us, and I don't want to use it as an excuse. But I just feel like the footballing world wants it to happen, and maybe it's just me being paranoid because it's my club. But yeah, I just feel like there's a bit of an agenda against us at the moment in terms of everything, VARs and yellow cards, red cards, and don't know. Maybe it's just me sulking about it. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at that. Like, to be honest, it's a big name, isn't it? Like, the Premiership kind of thrives off things like that, where like anything can happen. Like that, it's a selling point around the world. But for us now, you know, we spoke about Brighton. To go back to it, like, what do we do, Matt? That Forest game, you know, what, 3 weeks ago, there was the big, almost parade-esque entrance from the fans. This is 5:30. This is Saturday night. You know, it means that people can be in the pub at 11, 12 and have a few jars and be ready for it. Do you expect something similar to what was there against Forest, or is it going to be a bit more business as usual and more in the ground?
I don't know. I did see on socials that the same people that arranged that have got a meeting on Tuesday with the club and that, because there was they were prioritising the Fury fight over the weekend. They had so much planning to do with that, and they wanted to wait till that's done to then start looking at it. I don't think the bus and that will be a good idea. Maybe it did put a bit too much pressure. I don't know. But what I do think is everyone going into that stadium needs to be raring to go. Even if it's like on the high road and that, but everyone in that stadium is raring to go. It's 5:30, so people are going to be on the beers early doors, and that automatically lifts the atmosphere anyway. But also, people need to stop fucking sitting down, like in key areas of the stadium, because when you sit down, the atmosphere does go down. So in certain areas of the stadium, it has to stay standing to keep that energy up. But the players have to give us something. And I think, honestly, Lee, I think with De Zerbi's first home game, I think a lot of fans will be excited to go on Saturday for De Zerbi's first home game. I'm hoping he gets on the phone to Lewis Dunk and all that, and they owe him a favour. Do you know what I mean? And sort us right out on that day. I don't know. That's me just praying. But listen, we beat Brighton on Saturday.
I think Brighton will. I think having De Zerbi in charge, I think might fire Brighton up a bit more to maybe get the win. I don't know. I mean, I know they haven't left on sour terms or anything like that, but I bet the supporters would like to stick one on him by beating them at Spurs. I think the problem is that everyone that plays us now, whether we're at home or we're away, you know, look at Spurs now and go, well, this is a dead cert. We play good. We'll smash these, and that's the problem you've got. And you are going to be looked upon like that when you've got a record like ours this year, and you are where you are. But yeah, that is the problem at the moment. Is every team fancies it, and we've always been quite weak in terms of when it comes to the crunch. We sort of end up turning to some shit houses, and I think at the moment we certainly are, especially in the terms of being brittle and like I said, in the situation we're in. So, I mean, I think every game now is really difficult, and it's mad really, because I've always wondered, you know, I've never wanted to know, but I've always wondered what my club would be like in this situation, when I've always looked over every single Premier League season there's been since I started watching the Premier League, of looking at teams down there and fighting and celebrating like they won the cup when they stay up. I'd never imagined my team being down there being like this, and I kind of now know what it feels like, and I'm a bit of ashamed to know how it feels like, because my club shouldn't be down there. But yeah, it's a really sticky situation that not only the players, but the fans don't really know what it's like to be in this situation either. So, you know, it's for me sitting at home watching West Ham and Wolves and cheering and getting the ump when West Ham score sort of says a lot where I am this year in terms of being a Spurs fan, where I'm sort of watching games at the bottom and hoping for certain results, and it's just not good enough for us, and we shouldn't be down there. And it's a strange feeling, it really is, and it's something that if we do survive, I'd never want to go through again, because I don't think we're built for that sort of fight in these sort of divisions, especially with the certain players we got, you know.
Yeah, you know, just before I ask you what you think, Kev, about it, I know it's a must-win. Some fans that I've got mates like all of us, Arsenal mates, Chelsea mates. A lot of them blame Ange for this. Like that, something was said by a Liverpool mate of mine, was that like he allowed losing to be okay, and that's kind of just now become a stigma of Spurs. Although we won the Europa League, it was almost like we didn't need to win the league, and we threw those games or lost those games, and losing became okay. Do you sort of, what do you think of that?
What, losing become okay in terms of, because of the way he played? He only played one style going forward.
Yeah, he lost 22 league games, right? And you know that would, any other year, would bring you down. I mean, we've lost what? How many we lost this year? 17, 18? Like we lost 22, but we were safe for ages.
Yeah,
but
that's
they were saying, yeah, and you know, a few of these fans, again, they're outside fans, but they're almost like this is a rot that's come from Ange because of the way that he set up losses. I don't personally agree, but I want to know what you lot think.
No, I don't think so. I think, well, I mean, we kind of knew he only had his one way of playing, and he's always been like that in every club he's been at. You know, we knew the level was going to be different in the Premier League, and he got found out for that. He also got found out for that when we went to Forest as well. So you kind of know that you need to adapt as a coach. He never did. So I don't know if he thought losing was okay. He just tried to win games his way, and I think he liked. I mean, it suited the style that all the fans wanted, you know, being on the front foot and everything else. He just didn't have a strategic game plan if it went wrong, and shutting up shop and things like that. I mean, I'm probably more disappointed with, Thomas Frank's comments when he first come. That seems to have aired a lot lately, where he says, when he first came in, he said, well, listen, we're going to lose football matches. And that ain't what we want to hear as a football club, especially coming off winning the Europa League. We don't want to hear we're going to lose football matches. I don't ever want to lose a football match. No. Losing one game a season is fucking hurtful for me, let alone losing the amount we did. If there's any blame that he's going to lie, it's simply on the board this year. It's simply on the board. There's no one else to blame than the board. Yes, these players should be playing better, but these players are playing because the board didn't decide to go out and buy better players when the time was crucial, when we had injuries. I don't see how you can blame anyone else than the board for the trouble that we're in at the moment.
What do you think, Matt, about them comments about Ange and stuff? Because I know you're a big fan of him, like a few of us were.
Well, when you said that, I didn't hear that comment before. But when you said that, it kind of makes you think that, it kind of did make losing become a bad habit. But I still remember that day when we were playing Man City and we kind of wanted Man City to beat Spurs that year, yeah? And then Ange come out and slated us to say that you're backing your own team to lose and stuff like that. And then to think like last season, he did throw a lot of games when we were like 1-0 up at half time or 0-0, and he'll take off Van der Ven and Ramiro for the Europa League game. So I can see where that has come in, but I don't think that's on what's now. We've had managers since then, and the recruitment has been absolutely terrible. And I think we've just been unlucky with injuries.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I think if Kudus and all that are not injured all season, and Maddison, Kulu, we wouldn't be in this situation. We wouldn't. But we are, and we have to deal with what we've got now. And yeah, it's going to be a struggle, boys. Buckle up, man. He's fucking buckle up.
I mean, Kev, last question, because Matt, he feels confident on it. Are you as confident as Matt for Saturday?
I can get why Matt's, confident. I mean, there's theory behind the manager's first game, but I've seen it too many times this year where I've been hyped up for that reason and thinking that we're going to turn the corner, and I've been slowly disappointed that we haven't in games where I thought, this could be the one to turn the corner. Listen, I think if we had Frank or Tudor in today's game, we probably would have lost that 2 or 3-0. So there was a slight improvement of only losing a game because of a fucking mad deflection, but the players need to apply themselves a bit better. And if they turn up like they did, certain players turn up like they did today, key players for me, especially what Matt's saying in the final third, if the midfield doesn't look so ragged and so much, so empty in midfield at times. I thought they played through us in midfield today massively. And Brighton are no mugs. They're a good footballing side. They've got good players. And they're a shit team to play. Even when you're flying at home, they're a bit of a dodgy team to play. They've took a lot of points off us over the years when we were playing better than this. So it's definitely not a given for me. But if I had to put a prediction on it, I think I'll maybe go for a draw. I think 1-1 draw.
Oof, wow. I mean, we are here now, lads. We are here. I mean, Sunderland game, we kind of hoped that it would be something we could get a point from or we'd learn something from. I think there was an improvement, but the problem is the improvement came at an expense of other teams getting something, and we didn't. So all we can hope for now is Man United beat Leeds tomorrow, and we go in and do our job against Brighton, and that hopefully starts to get us going, because it's going to be tough. Wolves and Villa after that. But we'll be back next week. Win, lose, draw, doing what we do. It'd be great to hear from you all across our socials. We put out our content throughout the week. If you're going to the game, listen, make as much noise as you can. 1, this new manager, he wants us to do the right thing. 2, we want to stay up. This is it now. This is literally it. So we've got to get this. And I really don't know what to think. I really don't know what to say. But all I can say is thank you, lads. We will.
I'll tell you one thing, mate. We can't all wait for this fucking season to finish. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Let's hope it finishes and we're 17th or higher, because, I'm not sure what the fuck I'd do after. I've never even thought about this, so I don't even want to think about it now. I don't want nightmares. But, lads, all the very best. We'll be back next week, hopefully on 33 points, and hopefully getting into the groove to stay safe. This is the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans podcast. We'll see you next week. Get behind the team and come on, you Spurs.